then for whatever reason decided to possibly walk down the roadway, probably 3/4 of a mile to a mile from where he had gotten his ride to. He was discovered early yesterday morning, being Wednesday, and at this point we've talked with neighbors in the area. We've asked for input from the public if anybody's encountered dogs that may have been aggressive or trying to attack them. We're also using some drone technology. The Houston County Sheriff's Office has a drone division that is very active, and they're coming down this afternoon and are going to assist us maybe with some searching of the area using the drones. We're also going to be doing some nighttime flying, because this apparently occurred sometime after 10 o'clock at night. So we'll be up in the area doing that. We asked the public if they have seen any dogs that, you know, that have been aggressive, either riding, if you're riding a bicycle or a four-wheeler, or walking, if any dogs in this particular area, the 6500 block of Kirkland Road in northeast Jackson County. If you would, please let us know. Call the Sheriff's Office at 850-482-9648. That's Communications Center. We would appreciate the information. Any questions at this point?
You said they were domesticated. Do you mean by that not strays?
No. When I say domesticated, I'm not talking about coyotes. That's one of the things that we're looking at, is collecting evidence forensically that will tell us, or tell the experts for sure, if we have a particular breed of dog, or if it is wild. They have a pretty good DNA database they'll be looking at, and it's quite involved in how they go about determining that. But that's one of the things we're trying to determine at this point. We certainly want to caution people about being, you know, in an area where there are aggressive dogs, and we've seen this happen in other places, and we certainly don't want it to happen here. But it's going to take a little while for that process to take place. The animal control has placed animal traps in the area, hoping that we may be able to capture some stray dogs, feral dogs, and we don't know if that they are feral, but we're saying that obviously something made these dogs become aggressive.
Is
yes.
there a possibility, and it's still preliminary right now, that it could be someone's pet, possibly?
Yeah, we're not ruling anything out at this point. In talking with the experts at the University of Florida, they have seen in the past where dogs who appear passive sometimes become aggressive when agitated, or when they run in more than one or two together, they run in a pack. So we don't want to rule anything out, but we do want to get it accurate, and if we can identify which animal it is, then we'd like to have the science behind it.
Has this happened in this area before, or is this something that's pretty uncommon?
We've had reports in the past of dogs over the years. You know, this is a very rural agriculture area, and we've had cows that were actually either killed by coyotes for food source, or we've had dogs that have attacked animals, you know, livestock, that type of thing. But it's not a common thing, not to this extent, not causing the death. And we've seen people that have been bitten by stray dogs and that type of thing. But Jackson County is a big county. You know, you're almost 1,000 square miles, and there's a lot of areas that are very rural, and as a result, you know, dogs can survive quite often in packs. But not recently, we haven't seen anything.
Should the people in that stretch of Kirkland Road, should they be concerned? Should they just kind of...
Well, I would certainly think I would be concerned. I mean, yes. I wouldn't take it lightly. I mean, we've already seen the death of one individual. We certainly would like people to be cautious, but let them know that we're taking it very seriously here, and we're working close with animal control. We're working with the medical examiner's office and the University of Florida, the doctors there, to help us determine what type of animal we're looking for, and should be able, if we can locate that animal, get some standards for comparison, we may be able to identify which dog.
If this were to happen again, would you all anticipate it happening at night, like it did the first time?
I don't know that you could say for sure. Obviously, nighttime, a lot of dogs like to roam around at night. It's just hard to say. I'm not an expert in that field, so I really don't know.
What can people in that area do right now to stay safe? I mean, it's a pretty isolated area. If something were to happen to someone, it might be a while before someone sees them.
Yeah.
So what should people do to stay safe that area from these dogs.
Well, I certainly wouldn't be walking alone at, you know, especially at nighttime. I mean, we've had people who said they have been chased by dogs, maybe not in that particular location, but in areas nearby. Maybe if they're on four-wheelers or horses or just walking. And so you know, you have to use good common sense and safety whenever walking like that. I don't know what would have set these dogs off, you know, that's the thing.
Was this location near his home? He's from Baskin. Was it in that?
It was probably, by road miles, it's probably 6 miles away that he lives. And he arrived at the location not far from where he was found. Someone dropped him off there. We do not know who that person is at this point, but if they hear this story, we'd appreciate knowing that information. The investigator would at least like to get a statement from them. The last time we know he was in that area, anybody talked to him, was about 10 o'clock at night.
So he was dropped off in the location where the attack happened. He didn't walk there from
Well,
where
he arrived there by vehicle, we understand. We do not know exactly who dropped him off. I don't think he has transportation, so, or at that time he relied on someone else for transportation. And so once he was at that location, he walked away from that house and knew someone else in the neighborhood or in the area close by. So that's the last we actually know of where he was and what time. We think this happens sometime during the early morning hours, possibly.
Did it stick out that he was dropped off like 5 or 6 miles away from his home?
No, a lot of times people, will get rides to locations. They just don't have any transportation, and somebody gives them a ride. Any other questions?
Is there any at all possibility that this was not a dog attack?
No, the medical examiner says an investigator is here today after just attending the autopsy this morning. The death was caused as a result of the attack by the animal. We just want to identify for sure, what type of animal, maybe what breed, if we can, and those type of things.
The person victim, is he known to you all as?
I don't know him. Maybe the investigator can share some information on that. I think we're still learning about him some too. He's not somebody that we really had encounters with. I mean, he resided up near the Bascom area, not, like I said, maybe 5 to 6 miles away. So really don't know him that well. All right. If we get more, we'll certainly pass it on, and it'll take a little while because it's like anything, when you're dealing with lab results and that type of technology, it takes a little bit of time. But we appreciate y'all getting the word out to the public and making sure that they, take precautions and don't put themselves in this type of situation as he did. I'm sure he was not aware of what he was dealing with until it's too late.
Is it too late to check for if there's a rabies element to this at all?
Rabies? Once we, I think, get the dog identified, if we can do that, we will certainly be able to know.
There's nothing to do with it?
I don't know. Will, do you know of anything during your investigation that you?
I do not. I believe rabies tests have to be done for the brain of the animal.
Right, but I mean, as far as anything to do with the blood work or anything at this point?
No, sir, not at this time.
Okay. We don't suspect that as being a component of this, but it's still early on. We certainly hate it for this gentleman and his family, but we're going to work diligently to try to resolve the dog that is responsible for it, or dogs.
Deborah, to answer your question on rabies, most animals with rabies do not run at night, although, what I'm saying.
Thank y'all for coming.
Sure.
All righty.